Welcome to the 30-Minute Hour. It's the personal development podcast for entrepreneurs who are looking to level up and become unstoppable. I'm your host, Eric Twiggs, your procrastination prevention partner. Joining me as always, you know him as the super CEO, the business strategist extraordinaire, and all-around good guy, Ted Fells.
Happy Monday.
Yes, it is. It is a happy Monday. But our guest, she's so advanced that she's in the future. So it's Tuesday for her.
It's Tuesday.
For her, it's Tuesday because she's joining us from Melbourne, Australia. We'll give her a formal introduction here shortly, but definitely wanted to give a shout out to those who are watching us from Australia.
The 30-minute hour is global.
That's right.
I just don't understand it with global, Eric.
We are officially international.
That's right.
That's right. I tell you. Now it's just interesting. I mean, this is like our 163rd episode.
163rd, man. They said we wouldn't make it, Eric. They said we wouldn't make it. They said we wouldn't make it.
They said we wouldn't make it. They said we couldn't do it, but we proved them wrong.
You know how they do that in sports all the time. They win the championship. No one thought we could do it. No one believed in us. No one thought we could make it this far, Eric.
I'll tell you. It's quite an accomplishment. Quite an accomplishment.
Look at God.
For sure. For sure. Well, as you can tell, if you're still watching, this is not your everyday podcast.
You're going on to do something else with your evening.
If you haven't logged off by now, you discovered that this is not your everyday podcast.
That's right.
We do things a little different here on a 30-minute hour. And so those of you that are watching us live, you can watch us on Facebook. You can watch us on LinkedIn and YouTube by going to the page that's titled The 30-Minute Hour. You just type that into the search engine, and then we record this, and you can listen to the replay on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any of those places that you like to listen to your podcast. Don't forget to share the show.
Share the show.
That's right. Share the show. I laugh, to learn, and ultimately to level up. And if you feel like we've done that, make sure you share the show. I'm going to take it a step further. I want you to take a screenshot, and I want you to take that, and I want you to share it with 3 people. At least 3 people.
At least 3 people.
At least, come on. At least 3 people, because Tracey is going to really provide you with some information and insights. That's really going to help you to take things to the next level.
That's what she said she's going to do.
That's what she said. Oh, man. But no, definitely don't forget to share the show. She's going to share some excellent insights on this whole idea of sales, and it's going to be interesting. And before we get into the meat of this, I do need to tell you that this episode is sponsored by the Bernie L. Bates Foundation. That's right. The Bernie L. Bates Foundation. They do great work in the community here in the DMV, District, Maryland, Virginia area. They provide scholarships to high school students. They help the less fortunate. The Bernie L. Bates Foundation. Mark your calendar for next Tuesday, April the 12th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm doing the final segment of the Discipline of Now webinar series. This is step 4 in overcoming procrastination. If you're saying, oh, I didn't see steps 1 through 3, no worries. I can send that to you, the recordings of step 1, 2, 3, or you can just come to step 4, and you'll get a lot of value from that. It's going to be next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, April 12th. To register, visit blbinc.org. blbinc.org. Make sure you register for the Discipline of Now webinar series. I'm going to help you to stop procrastinating and help you to become more productive and get things done. That's right. Okay. So The title or the theme of our show today is how to improve your sales without losing friends. That's right. How do you improve your sales without losing friends? That's the theme. And we have just the person to help you with that. I mean, think about it, like, has promoting your business ever left you feeling like a spammy Pammy?
Yep.
You know that feeling, you just feel like, yeah, and then the people you're sending the message to, they don't want to hear from you anymore. They start blocking you, start running away, running in the opposite direction when they see you.
Right.
Well, we're going to help you to overcome that problem. Because our guest, she has been in the industry for over 30 years. She's the CEO, chairperson of Ethical Direct Sellers Association. She resides in Melbourne, Australia. She's a career mentor for women in the direct marketing who want to take their career to the next level. So please join me in welcoming to the 30-Minute Hour podcast, Tracey Hall.
Hey, thank you. Woo! I sound amazing.
That's right. That's right. That's you. That's you.
Oh, Tracey, welcome to the show. It is truly an honor to have you on today.
Oh, I'm so happy I get to speak to peeps all over the world. Yay.
That's right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to give people the backstory. So let's roll back the clock. When you were growing up as a youngster, what did you want to be?
Oh, you know how we sort of go through phases and it depends on what age we were, but I really wanted to be a teacher. I did go to 17 different schools. So I thought I had experience in that area.
So, hold on, 17.
Yes.
How does that happen? How do you go to 17 different schools?
My mother decided that, you know, she didn't want to pay her bills and we just moved to the next place.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was only 13 primary schools, so nothing big. So.
Wow. Okay.
Works.
All right. So if you could go back to that time in your life, knowing what you know now, like what advice would you give to your younger self?
Buy property. It's really simple because the prices back then, it was $30,000 and you could get a house. Step forward now and to get a house in the area I was, like 800,000 Australian.
Wow.
So I think that's about over $500,000 US.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. Like my parents, they still live in the house we grew up in, and they paid like $17,000 for it at the time, and like the houses in the neighborhood are now selling for like 600, 700,000.
Yep.
Wow.
Wouldn't it be great if our wages actually went with that inflation?
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Oh man. So tell us, like, what were the life experiences that led you to becoming this direct marketing, this sales expert? What happened to you? What did you experience that led to that?
Oh, I was that shy person. I know it's hard to believe. I have blue hair and am very gregarious now. Back in the day when I got into the industry, when I was 5, I won't tell ages, I was very young, very naive, very shy. And I went up to my first event and I went, oh, I like this. I'm around other people that are succeeding. I won my first ribbon and it was like the door had opened to this world, and it was a ribbon. Like, you know, when we get personal bests in Little Ass, it's the same thing. I won a ribbon and it was like the floodgates opened up. To look at that background and you go, oh my goodness, this is unbelievable. what if I could do this? What if I could do that? It sort of opened up different opportunities because I needed to come out of my shell, obviously, being the shy person, but there was underneath an extrovert. And now there's an extrovert, and I don't know where the shy person is. And those years of working in that, but I've also working in insurance. So, that's a hardcore anyway, talking motor vehicle, business insurance and selling that to people. That became a bit of a hard sell. Okay, this is way before internet and way before mobile phones, people. So it was that hard sell, knocking and talking to people. Yeah, it was quite chaotic back then. But it sort of made me realize that you can do selling or sales in a different way. You don't have to be all in someone's face or coming into people's inboxes and doing the spammy Pammy, like you said before, Eric. Like, yeah, it's just you don't do that sort of stuff. You don't need to. It's not how businesses do it. Like, you couldn't see a bricks and mortar business go, oh, I'm just going to knock on all the next door neighbours and just say, here's my business, I'm open, come in and I'm coming to annoy you, right?
Yeah.
So you want to take people on a journey about it. So that's what life is, 30 years in one industry. It's been a real journey, a real personal development journey. And I have done all the wrong things. I'm sure every business owner out there has done really a lot of wrong things. You've employed the wrong person, or you've invested in the wrong course, or things like that. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just as long as we learn from that and we grow from that, I think it's so important. And that's one thing I've learned along the way with selling, because it's not about the product or the service that you've got. It's how you make people feel when they're going and using that product or service.
Good point.
That's a great point. So you hit on something I want to touch on. You mentioned that you were an introvert. And one of the things people, they always say, yeah, but Eric, you don't understand. I don't have that I'm not like Ted. I'm not this outgoing guy, or gal. I'm an introvert, so I can't sell. I can't start this business. So what advice do you have? What do you say to that person that thinks they can't be successful in selling because they're an introverted personality?
Well, actually, introverted people are the best people when it comes to selling, because they take it from a different approach to someone gregarious and in their face like I am. They take people on that journey. They take people further into the journey than someone like me who goes, you know what, if you don't want it, don't buy it type thing. It's like I'm more straight to the point, because I know someone will buy into me, but they take people on that journey because they're so scared themselves. So it's more of an information process for an introvert.
That's interesting. So I was reading something, I think it was from Daniel Pink. He was saying now it's about being what they call an ambivert, right? Where you're not like this gregarious, outgoing person, but you're not really you're kind of in the middle. That those are the people that tend to do better because they tend to listen better, and they can, and they're still, they have enough of an outgoing personality to succeed. Do you have any thoughts on that, or?
Well, I don't think it really matters whether you're introvert, extrovert, or an ambivert, because you will find your tribe regardless. So as a business owner, you will find the people that will be attracted to you regardless. There's always going to be someone attracted to the blue-haired lady. There's going to be someone who's attracted to the Erics of the world. There's going to be someone who's attracted to the Teds of the world. Everyone's different. And there will be people that will be attracted to you because you might trigger something in them. So regardless of the different personality, your tribe will be there.
That's good. Yeah. And so can you just, let's give this like an official definition. this whole idea of the spammy Pammy. Well, what is a spammy Pammy? Let's clear that up for everybody that's watching this.
Well, funny you say that. I'll take you to this journey I've been on, and cold messaging. I know you're cringing and you're thinking, what is she talking about? You know, that message you get from that random stranger that you know have maybe 2 or 3 mutual connections with, and they go and they start off with, "Hi, how's your day?" "Oh, fantastic." "Oh, blah, blah, blah." They start the conversation well, and then all of a sudden they go, "Oh, I have a video. I'd love you to watch my video." But I don't want to watch a video. Or they then go, "Oh, what do you do for work?" "Oh, I'm the owner of da 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 da." "Oh, right. Oh, I'm into blah blah." Yeah, the one at the moment I've been getting lots of is crypto. "I'm into crypto." "Oh, I've been making this much money and da 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 da." I'm like, and did you even ask whether I really care whether you're making money or not? I don't care. It's like someone asking me what color undies I'm wearing. Seriously, who cares? No one cares about what garbage you're putting in their inbox unless it's about them. So that's what the spammy Pammy is all about, right? Unless you're asking questions that are genuine questions about me, I don't care about you. And I know it sounds harsh, people, but it's a reality. Unless there's something in it for them, they are not interested.
That's true.
Wow. So
yeah.
So how does one get the word out about their business without being a spammy Pammy?
There's many, many ways that you can do it without being spammy Pammy. It's targeting, having your message targeted to the right people. I talk about qualities, like the qualities you want in your customers. There's no use you going, "I don't want this," because that's what you'll get. But look at what you want. I want to have customers that pay me on time. I want to have customers that love my product and tell the world about it. I want to have customers. So you're always putting out there that the qualities of what you want in your customers, and then solving it, what their problem is. There's no use you looking at it and going, "Oh my God, they've got 30,000 problems. I'm going to solve every one." No. Focus on one thing, one problem that you can help them with what you have, whether it's a product or a service. So, with example, skincare. I've got pimples. If you can solve my pimple problem, I love you. Oh, my son, he's thinning. He's 16. I don't want him thinning. He's 16 years old. My friend has a product that is growing his hair. So, problem solved.
What's the name of that product?
It's an MLM product. It's called Monet.
Look at Eric. We might get us some hair, Eric.
You see how I sat up in my seat when he said that? I'm like, hey.
He has to work on the side, the top. I mean, all around the baby.
So he's got wire arches, and like this product is growing the hair back for him. And I'm like, this is so good, because he didn't get the thick hair like his brother and I and his sister. He got the thin hair, and he's blonde. So
Interesting.
Oh.
So you mentioned something about not focusing on the customers that you don't want.
yeah.
Talk more about that. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Well, everyone goes in there and they sort of think that they're products for everyone. So we could look at any product that's on the market. Toothpaste, okay? So why is there 20,000 different types of toothpaste? Because not everyone's their customer. Not everyone wants their teeth whiter because they have amazing white teeth anyway. Not everyone wants to have has sensitive gums, so they don't need the sensitive toothpaste. So if they focus in on those customers that they actually do want, they want the people that have the sensitive gums, or they want the people that want whiter, mega white teeth. So you're focusing in on exactly what the customer's end result is.
Excellent.
So if the end result is customers want white teeth, what are you going to talk about in every part of your marketing? How you can get white teeth.
Yeah.
So if you're specific and you niche your business to that area, it makes it so much easier to market, because everything you do is marketing. The selling's the back end thing. It's the marketing that's the biggest thing.
So how does somebody get clear on what it is their customers want? What their customers really want, so they can speak to that.
Yeah, I created this little niche person. It's called a niche person. So with this niche person, it's like, what sort of qualities that are in that niche person? Are they a woman or a man? So the messaging to women is so different to the messaging to men. And the messaging to a woman with kids is different to the messaging to a woman without kids, the same as a man with kids without, because your needs are totally different. Then it's like, well, where do you want to sell this product? Is it just online, or do you just want to sell it to people local to you? So then the messaging is very different to you talking online to you talking to your local community. So then you're sort of going, okay, well, it's sort of your pond is this big, but you're really narrowing this. So you're only focused in on that clownfish and not the spotted fish and the fugu fish and the this fish and that fish. You're focused just on the clownfish and what the clownfish wants. I know it sounds really silly explaining it from a pond point of view, but it gives people an idea of, you focus in on that one person, you can duplicate that one person. I focus in on women and mentoring women. Guess what? I still get men who want to be mentored by me. So it doesn't matter. You're not narrowing your area. You're actually broadening it, because you're very, very clear on the customers that you want every single day of the week. And then you go, well, I want to duplicate that person. I would rather have that one person and they buying consistently off me, who then refers me to others. I used to do wedding makeup in my previous life. I got referred from one wedding to 7 other weddings. I would rather that than have to keep going out and getting new leads, because it's a bugbear of mine that, all these lead generation places and everything go, like 50,000 leads. You couldn't even service 50,000 leads if you tried, regardless of whether you had it in the automation or anything. You can't do it because you're not giving them the nurturing that they deserve. Whereas if you had 50 in there, you can nurture them much better, and you're more likely to have them convert over to be customers of yours. Does that sort of help explain it a bit better for you?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So it sounds like, the entrepreneur that's watching us right now, it would be good for him or her to create an avatar of their customer, their ideal customer. It's Mary, and Mary has 2 kids. She's this, she's that. And then so as they're doing marketing, they're always thinking about Mary.
Yep. Yeah. Mary. I call mine Sarah. I think it's really important. And I mean, I know it sounds out of the square when it comes to business, because we think that we want to help the world, like I do. Hello, I want a global multi-million-dollar business. But if I don't start local, then I'm never going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Or if I don't start with that one person, I'm not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on. I think the niche piece is key. And so we're here on the 30-Minute Hour podcast. We're talking to Tracey Hall all the way from Melbourne, Australia. Those of you that are starting to log on, please say hello in the comments section. And whether you're on LinkedIn or Facebook or even on YouTube, make sure you're saying hello in the comments section. Say hi to Tracey. Make sure you put your questions about sales and marketing. I mean, she's already said some things that if you really embrace it, it'll ease your frustration. And because I made that mistake, Tracey, at some point where I was just trying to appeal to everybody and not really paying attention to that niche. I think things get better once you really get clear and narrow things down. Mm. So you're go ahead. What do you want to say, Tracey?
What do you think, Ted?
About
niching.
About niche?
Yeah.
Very critical. Very critical to get that niche, because you in that there's so many different types of ways you can approach it, because you really you can drill down to that specific type of a customer. You know, what they're interested in, what's important to them, versus when you're all over the place. But it takes a lot of discipline to do that too, right? Because you're afraid that if you nail down into one customer, you're going to miss so many. But, you know, you can just, if you have that niche, you're going to be able to address probably so many more, and probably get more sales, because, you know, they're all, it's almost like a certain type of bait that you're going to put on a fishing rod, right? And you put that, that bait out in the water, and it's going to attract certain type of fish, and that's what it's going to do for you.
So it was interesting. Like, there's a podcast about Philadelphia. Like, it's something titled something like All About Philadelphia. Yeah. And you would think, oh man, that would limit them, but they've got a massive following, because you've got people who used to live in Philadelphia. You got people that want to live in Philadelphia. You got people that know people that live in Philadelphia. So that's the key, though. But the whole foundation is just focusing in on this person at the Philadelphia market. So now I think that's a critical point. That, hopefully, we do this write this down segment later. But I think that's one thing, really focusing on getting clear on who your avatar is. If that's the one thing you take away from this episode, it'll really change the game for your business.
Oh yeah.
So let's talk about the ethical direct sellers. You're the CEO of the Ethical Direct Sellers Association. So what is your mission, and how do you help people?
Wow, I'm glad you asked, because there's nothing else like it in the industry. There's a association for the companies. Would you believe the reps don't have it? Mm-hmm. Unbelievable. When there's 121 million people in direct marketing, they don't have an association for them. So little Tracey, who's in a country with 25 million people, created it.
Wow.
Yeah. And why I've called it ethical, because I want people to understand that their values and their integrity comes before anything else. Because if you don't value you, then you can't value anyone else.
True.
And a lot of people might call it faith or whatever, but to me, it's about valuing yourself. And then I went and thought, right, we need somewhere where they can get some training that they can't get from their company. They can go on retreats. So my big picture is, retreats and annual conferences. So I can travel around the world and have it as a tax deduction. Shh, don't tell anyone.
Like a plane?
When we can travel and it's, none of these ick around, but never mind. the association is for those ready to take control. So they need to be ready. Someone who's brand new won't understand what I'm talking about, but the company has amazing trainings for them. The association is for that next level of thinking, because we go deeper into things like understanding how to upsell, how to cross-sell, who to target properly. Did you know it takes 7 seconds and people have already made up their mind whether they like you or not? 7 seconds.
Wow.
So we go further into that. And I wanted people to understand that you can make impressions really fast and people either love you or hate you straight away.
Hmm.
And you can't change their mind unless you take them on this journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is why I wanted the association to be that head body that the people can go to when they're having problems, when they're having, they're not got a supportive upline, or they've got something in the company they're not sure of, because they've all signed a contract, but none of them read it.
Hmm.
I'm one of those weird ass people that have read it. Okay. I read this stuff. I am so strange. I've actually read the Australian Constitution because I like to know stuff.
Yeah.
And in business, if you're signing a lease, you need to know what's in that lease. Because if you want to get out of it and you don't know what you've signed, you're in trouble.
You may not be able to get out of it.
No. So we have a code of conduct, would you believe, with the association, right?
Wow.
They're simple 5 things. Be in good standing with your company. Be a good person in the industry. That's a no-brainer, right? No-brainer.
Yeah.
The golden rule, do unto others. I mean, it's so basic, but people still don't do that.
Hmm.
And that's why I set up the association, because I knew there was something missing in my industry. I love my industry. I love the personal development that I've got from it. I love the camaraderie I've got from it. I love, I won free trips. I won trips because I'm not focused in on the money. I loved what it did for my lifestyle. And that's why I wanted to have the association. Does that make sense?
No, definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm just curious. So, like, how long was it? So you had the vision for this association. How long was it from the time you came up with the idea to when it was happening and in motion?
Yeah, a while. And like lots and lots of people listening will get that. It was something kept playing in my head, because I've been in the industry for a long time, and it kept playing. I'm going, this, I'm not a link. How can they have, the companies have something and the reps don't have something? It kept playing in my head. I did it in another form with a friend, and it just wasn't resonating with me. It wasn't until I changed it to Ethical Direct Sellers Association, did it myself, that it's really resonating, because I wanted it to be based on ethics and values.
Hmm.
And that's how you stop the spammy Pammy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So it sounds like, I mean, this sounds like the spirit of this is, like, we think about sales. Some people think about it like you're doing something to somebody. I'm selling this to you, but it's really more about leaving them better than you found them, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, it sounds really weird, but when I go to networking events, I don't go there to all over people. I want to listen to what they're saying.
Tracey, I'm glad, because that's the one thing you don't want to do, is to do that all over people at the networking event. I'm glad you go there for that. Like, boy, that Tracey, boy, all over people.
Well, verbal diarrhea, spew.
Oh yeah.
All over. So I go there and actually listen and go, oh, I can connect you with someone. I know someone who can do with your service or your product, whatever. I think if you come from that place of serving others,
Oh yeah,
it comes back to you. all the time.
No, I think that's great.
I was doing a live in a group, and I had a business owner who's reached out to me. I need to do a proposal for her to train her 100 team how to affiliate sell without, spewing over everyone.
Wow. Yeah, that whole networking is definitely a art to that, and being in a room with a bunch of people, because no one just wants you just coming and just selling. Hey, I'm Ted, and this is what I do, and this is what I have, and da, 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 da. I mean, no one wants you spewing all of them, like you said. No one wants that.
Well, I don't care what you do.
Right.
How you make me feel makes a difference.
Absolutely.
My friend who's in Canada, I've known her for years. I've only just become her customer. Because she never pushed. And that's how the less you push, the more attractive you become.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? Okay, we'll talk about dates. Like, you're going on a date and you go, oh, I really like this girl and I want to speak to her again. And then you start spamming her. You're like sending her messages straight away. And it's like, whoa.
Blowing her up. You can't blow her up, Trace. You can't just.
So we're dating when we go to these networking events. We're dating to see if we can collaborate with them in any way, shape, or form, whether we're going to be their customer or they're going to be our customer, or whether they're going to refer us to someone. So always take it back to, I'm in some form of relationship with them, whether that's good or bad.
Absolutely. Now, I think that if more people realize that, it sounds like more and more people need to join your association.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So they get, not only do they get, the understanding of the ethical component, but you actually teach them the right way to upsell and the right way, the selling techniques that actually work.
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, there's mentoring and they get masterminds. So we drill down on one topic every month, drill down on one topic. So like you said, upselling and cross-selling, people don't know how to do that. When they've got a range in their business, say they're a product business, they've got like 10 products. I don't want to sell 10 products in one. I want to solve the problem of one customer with one product, and then my messaging to upsell them to the other product. Cross-sell it. My bad.
Makes sense.
All right.
It's interesting how many people that are into like sales or business development jobs that really don't have a much clue on how to do it. Right?
No.
It just seems like a real cool job to have, going out to events and and meeting people and dinners and all that kind of stuff. But when you find out, okay, well, how many prospects do you have and how many have you closed and all of that, that's a totally different piece. And then really, that's really what it's about is, making your numbers at some point.
Well, unfortunately, people don't know their numbers. Okay, I've spoken to lots and lots of people and mentored lots of people, and I said, well, how many people have you spoken to get that one customer? They don't know. So if you don't know how many no's it's taken to get that yes, it makes it hard for you to better your best. I'm not trying to compete with someone else. I want to compete with myself. So I used to go to an event and go, okay, well, I'd like to get 30 leads from that. And out of those 30 leads, I'd like to have 10 of those booked in for appointments within the first week. So that's when you go, okay, well, her ratio is 1 in 3. If you understand your numbers, it makes it so much easier. So every time those people have been spamming me, I've said, so how many times have you said these messages to people? And how's it going? They get offended. I'm like, dude, you're spamming me. I don't know you. How many times have you sent this message? Oh, my bad. I did have one. And she I said to her, say, how's this messaging going about you getting orders for your product? Oh, I've sent about 200 messages and I've got a few customers. I went, well, then your ratios are really pretty crappy, aren't they? They're not working. Oh no, I'm really happy. I've got like 4 customers out of 200 messages. So you've paid off 196 people to get those 4 customers. Good job. It doesn't make sense to me. Know your numbers. I'm not talking like bottom line numbers here. Know your ratios. Know how many no's you need to get that 1 yes. Or play a competition with myself. I used to try and get 100 no's. So as soon as you get 1 no, 2 no's, 3 no's, 4 no's, you'll get a yes. You have to start back at 1. Have a competition with yourself in your business. How many no's can I get today? Guess what? You'll get more yeses because you're actually
Get more at that.
really, I want to get my 100 no's, and you never get them.
Wow.
You know what? I think that's powerful. Because what that does, it shifts your, because we're afraid of the no. But if you start making it a game, like there's a book out, it's called Go for No. And that's the whole premise. And the author talks about, in most offices, the person who has the most no's is usually the top salesperson. Because they're putting the most effort out there. But no, that's a great thing. That's a great insight, Tracey, that you just shared. So now this next question, I should let me preempt this. So it's from someone. Her name is Anjanette Twigs. She wants to know this next question. She would like to hear the details on your program titled "Retire Your Hubby." She really wants to know about that.
So no relation to you whatsoever.
Merely a coincidence. The same last name.
Same name, probably same address. No, not related.
All coincidences. That's all.
Yeah.
She wants to know about retiring your hubby. How does that work?
Funny you say that, because that's a really tongue-in-cheek thing that I created to be silly about this, because I want to have fun in business, and I think we take the fun out of it. So this whole idea of retiring a hubby means that you've earned, I put a figure of 100,000. So you're earning 100,000 and you've replaced hubby's income of 100,000. So combined, that's 200,000. Well, your not negotiables are not going to reach the 200,000, are they? Your rent, your mortgage, your fee. Oh, well, petrol at the moment, yes, that could be included because it's so expensive. So we could break the bank just on the petrol. But it's like, you're not negotiables there, you're not negotiables. What else are you going to do? How many Maseratis can you have in the shop? How many Lamborghinis? How many houses? How many this? There's only limited time. You've only got 24 hours in the day. You can't spend all of it driving 20 Maseratis, right? Geez, that sounds like
be fun. Be fun to try it, though.
I know, right? Oh, that sounds like a challenge.
I'd have 19 of them. I mean, that'd be 20.
Yeah, I'd find it. 24 hours, you don't sleep and you could have 24 cars.
Crazy. No.
Yeah. So it's that idea of lifestyle more than anything. That's why I called it Retire Your Hubby. It's having that lifestyle that you can take the kids to Disneyland. You can go on nice holidays. You can have that nice house. Not everyone wants a 2-story, 5-bedroom house. It's funny. It brings up something that happened years ago, because one of the girls is going, oh, they're in Las Vegas and they're driving these fast cars. It's like, but I don't want to do that. I want to build homes around the world for foster kids. And she goes, I want to have farms so that I can foster animals. I said, exactly. Your dreams are your dream. That's his dream, to want to drive a sports car down in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Don't think that someone else's dreams are crappy or yours is crappy. It's your dream. I don't want a big house. I want a house that has 2 toilets. That's it. I'm sick of sharing the toilet with teenage boys. And if you've got kids and you're listening, you get it. Okay. I have the non-flusher and I have the sprayer. So everyone's dreams are different, and that's what Retire Your Hubby's all about. It's a tongue-in-cheek thing because not everyone's got a hubby, right? Not everyone's got kids, but the messaging is you can have the lifestyle. So I'm interviewing people in it. I'm sharing tips in it. I'm going to have a TV show with it. So,
Right.
and ironic, I've written my first book for Retire Your Hubby series, and it's got procrastination in it because it kills people. It's a killer of businesses. It's a killer of dreams. It's that procrastination.
Absolutely.
If they only had someone that had a book about procrastination.
I'm telling you. Yeah, that'd really be something, Ted, if there was a book out there on that topic.
Yeah, funny about that. Or abundance mindset is another thing that's in the Retire Your Hubby, because I find that people are still scarcity mindset, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I talked about the petrol, but it's my choice to put petrol in my car. So looking at it from a different point of view, I choose to put petrol in my car because I want to go on trips. Instead of going, oh my God, the price of everything is so expensive. Yeah, but I choose that nice food. I choose to eat healthy food for myself and my family. So changing that mindset around really makes you look at your business and go, oh yeah, I can say I've got none of this, none of that, but I choose where that goes. I choose to spend my money on this part of my marketing, or I choose to spend my money on updating my website or whatever. It's a choice.
Absolutely. So you mentioned the abundance mindset versus the scarcity mindset. So how do you see that, like this whole thing with the scarcity mindset? How do you see that playing out? How's that hurting people?
Well, it's funny because they might go, I can't afford. As soon as you mention can't afford, you've got scarcity. That's why I changed it to I choose to. So just by changing different things, you can really focus in on what you actually want around you. You know, I could, because I work from home and I homeschool my son, I could go, life is shit. I'm staying home. I'm doing nothing. I'm just homeschooling my 12-year-old. Or I could go, you know what? Let's see what opportunities there are out there. Then I'm at home homeschooling my son. Oh, I'm on a podcast all the way over in America. See the difference? You're really working a higher vibration of person. You can stay in the icky thing, or my hands ache every single day because I've started to get arthritis in it. I'm too young for this, right? But I don't let that stop me doing stuff. I'm doing a puzzle. Okay, silly me. Because I love the puzzle. I love the challenge of the puzzle. I love the fact that I can get my homeschooling son to be involved in the puzzle. So you're taking that journey along the way. And I look at everything like things will come up. I procrastinated for 2 months to start my own podcast because I had to come up with questions. As soon as someone said, why don't we just do it now? And I went, yep, okay. So I don't have questions. I don't know what I'm going to ask until I start listening to what their replies are. And I did 70. One shift. And I love that you're doing this whole series on procrastination because it's a massive thing. Massive.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, I agree with you 100%. It's one of the things that holds people back in life in general. And I mean, in sales, just that whole call reluctance and putting off making the call because of how we think about rejection and everything else. So you mentioned procrastination. You mentioned this scarcity mindset. What else? What's another roadblock that you see that commonly keeps entrepreneurs from improving their sales?
This is going to be controversial. You ready for this? Follow up. They don't follow up enough at all. I had those names and I'd ring these people. Oh, you put your name down for a free this, da-da-da-da-da. Oh, I can't do it at the moment. Is it okay for me to call you in 2 weeks' time? I could have gone like everyone else and gone, waste of lead. It's not a waste of lead. Until they say no, then you keep them in the funnel. So then in 2 weeks' time, that person was ready to have me come and demonstrate. Follow up. And they say you need 15 contacts with people. 15, holy majoli. That's massive, right? But it's not. Because you put them into your funnel and you're adding value. You're not sending 5 messages in the one day because that annoys the pip out of me, right? I space mine out for every 4 days. But there's always value in each one. There's a call to action, obviously, but there's value. Did you know, how you can? This podcast would be great for you. This, our new blog, this is what it's all about. I wrote a whole blog on follow-up because people, this is a big procrastination of the mindset, but this is a big one that stalls a lot of businesses is follow-up.
Yeah, I agree. There's a saying that there's a fortune. The fortune is in the follow-up.
Yeah.
And
I'm the queen of follow-up. I always say I'm the queen of follow-up because I do follow things up. If I didn't follow up, years ago I got a $40,000 contract to do training for a company. If I didn't follow up, wouldn't have got it. And if you don't follow up, then you're never going to get it.
That's true.
No, great point. You have to have an abundance mindset. Don't procrastinate, and make sure you follow up.
So I think people would probably really lose their mind if they just, call people on the first contact, first email, first call, and the person's like, yes, I've been waiting here for what you're selling.
Where have you been all my life?
Give me 10 of them. Give me 10 of them. Give me 10.
Some people will. Ted, some people do buy like instant gratification. Like sometimes I'll buy instantly. Other times I need to know the ins and outs of everything. I need that contract. I need to know, is it going to do what I need to? So the lady sent me samples to make sure that the hair stuff worked for my son because I wasn't going to get it if there was no guarantee it wasn't going to deliver what it promises it's going to deliver.
It's funny. I have this tree in my yard, and my neighbor has been giving me grief for some time. She's like, "Oh, the tree, the roots they're going across my grass," and I hope they're not watching it. They're going across my grass, and I think they're gonna lift up my sidewalk. I mean, my driveway. Have you done something? I'm sitting there thinking, well, maybe in 20 years that'll happen, but. So every now and then, did you take a look at? Did you do anything about the tree? I know I'm working. I didn't. So then when I see her out, I didn't forget about you. I'm gonna do this. So I was working from home the other day, and this guy came and he put this little card in my door. We should do this stuff all the time, and I ignore it. But this one had a tree on the card. It had a tree, and it said. Mr. Juarez, it's a residential and commercial. He says he cuts grass, does tree trimming, mulching, tree cutting. Mr. Juarez is going to get a call. I didn't have to look for it. It was in the door. And he's probably put these all throughout the neighborhood. But I need it because my neighbor thinks that I'm going to destroy her driveway with my tree's roots that are stretching over. So, Yeah, I mean, and and this guy's probably come around several times and put these in the door, and every now and then the timing is going to be just right. So that follow up is, is definitely key.
Yeah. Oh, and I go back to the 15 contacts. 15 contacts is lots of different ways that you can do that. People can tap into your Insta, your LinkedIn, your YouTube, your emails, everything. So there's so many different ways that you can do that contact for people.
Yeah.
That's great. That's something Ted and I were talking about a few days ago. That if you do the different ones, it doesn't seem as creepy, right? If you spread it around, it doesn't seem like it.
I'm in your email. I'm in your email. I'm in your YouTube now.
Yeah. Hey, I'm stalking you.
Ted. I'm on the phone. I'm at your mom's house.
Yeah, it's like the stalker date.
That's right.
You're stalking, but in a nice way, because you're not like, they can say no.
That's it.
Exactly.
Or like me, it took me a year to buy this hair product off this girl. I've known her for a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now this is awesome. And so we're at the final segment of the show. It's called Write This Down. And this is where we each leave that one final takeaway that we want the entrepreneurs to write down so they can level up. So Tracey, you are our guest of honor. What's one thing from today's episode that people need to write down? Niche your business. Find that niche. It really makes a difference. Absolutely. Write that down. Focus on the niche. Get you an avatar. Who's your avatar? There you go. Yeah. Fantastic.
So mine and write this down would be why you? Right? Like why you? Why would they want to buy it from you? I mean, you have something that's so unique. Is it your approach? How well you are with follow up. Like why you? You have to figure out, why you? Because in most cases, you're not the only person around that's providing that service. So why you?
Why you? Yeah, you had to clarify that, because you got to think about it. That's the question the customer has, right?
Yeah.
Real estate. Oh, great. There's a million realtors.
Why you?
Why should I use you instead of the other million I can talk to?
Well, that's one of the things I think with real estate. You make a good point there. Why people always have their picture on real estate cards.
Right.
Right.
Oh, so, absolutely.
So if you're real attractive, I think that could help you. Right. If you're real attractive, right? If you're not, and you put it on the card, you be like, I just don't think I'm going to keep looking for that realtor.
I don't want a house anymore.
That's right. I'm good. I'm going to stay at my mom's. I'm good.
But no, you have to be able to answer that question of what makes you different from everybody else that's doing what you're doing. So now that's a good thing. That's a good thing to write down. And then so mine has to do with knowing your numbers, which we said earlier. I just think that's so critical. I think it helps to takes the emotion out of it.
Yeah.
Like once it takes 10 contacts before I get a contract. Let's say that's so you got 10. See, now you have to go for no. So you have to have at least 9 no's before you get the contract.
Yeah.
I just think it simplifies things when you know your numbers. So I thought that advice that Tracey offered us earlier was critical. Know your numbers. Write that down. All right, man. This has just been a fantastic show.
Good
I think
stuff, Tracey. Good stuff.
Thank you, Tracey, for everything that you've shared. How can the people best connect with you?
Find the blue-haired lady on Facebook, find the blue-haired lady on LinkedIn. Best way to find me.
Okay. Find the blue-haired lady on Facebook and on LinkedIn. Fantastic. And once again, don't forget to share the show.
Tracey, tell all your friends out there to share the show.
Share the show, or else I will sit on you.
You heard it here first.
Exactly. Share the show. Take that screenshot, send it to at least 3 people, like we talked about earlier in the episode. But no, I think that the big thing is you will improve your sales without losing friends. If you really go back and pay attention to what was talked about and what Tracey shared, you won't be a spammy Pammy. Your sales will go to that next level. So again, don't forget, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any of those other places. We thank you for joining us on today's episode of the 30-Minute Hour podcast with our guest, Tracey Hall. And until next time, have a great one.
Bye.